You'll manage just fine going to the hospital alone, right? I swear I'll send you straight to hell. My name is Emily, and I'm currently 9 months pregnant. It's my first time giving birth. So while I'm filled with anxiety, I feel truly blessed about welcoming a new member into our family. My husband, Alex, is a corporate executive and has weekends off. However, he doesn't offer much support around the house or help with shopping because he usually goes back to his parents' home on weekends. Alex has a deep bond with his parents, and since their home is nearby, he spends almost every weekend there without any specific reason. Since becoming pregnant, I've been cautious about lifting heavy objects. For example, when buying heavy items like flour, understanding friends often help out. My daily routine starts by waking up early, preparing breakfast for Alex, and seeing him off to work. Afterward, I do the cleaning and laundry and then head out for any necessary shopping. Once I return home, I start prepping for dinner. Only after finishing these tasks can I finally have some relaxation time. Since taking maternity leave, I've taken up a new hobby: blogging. Every day, I write a diary accompanied by photos I take, such as meals, the clear sky, flowers blooming in the backyard, and more. Many friends and acquaintances leave comments, and these moments of journaling have become small daily joys for me. One evening, as I was preparing dinner, my husband returned home as usual. He carelessly placed his briefcase and jacket on the couch, and I tidied them up, hanging them on a coat hanger. "Welcome back." "I made spaghetti for dinner," I said. Responding curtly, he headed straight for the bathroom. 3 years have passed since we got married, and there has been little kindness or consideration from him. I occasionally wonder if this is truly what a marital relationship should be like, but I've resigned myself to it. When Alex returned in his pajamas, I handed him a drink. "Where's the beer?" he asked, glancing at the fridge. Sorry, I forgot to buy it today. I'll get some tomorrow." "Seriously, go to the convenience store now." His demeanor changed immediately, and he spoke with evident anger. I was irritated. Why was he asking his pregnant wife to do this? If you want it so badly, why don't you go get it yourself? It's hard for me to move around with this big belly. At that moment, he became even angrier and started shouting, "You're the one who forgot to buy it. It's your job to fix that mistake. Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you get special treatment." My mother always said it's important to keep moving for the sake of health. Knowing that Alex doesn't calm down easily when he's angry, I reluctantly decided to go to the convenience store. While there, I bumped into Mia, a neighbor. "Oh, Mia, good evening." "Good evening, Emily. Did you forget to buy something too?" "I ran out of milk, so I came here." Mia's cheerful voice slightly lifted my spirits. "My husband really wanted beer, and he told me to buy it. Why didn't he just go himself?" "That's what I said, but it didn't get through to him. It sounds like you're having a tough time, Emily." After walking together for a bit, Mia and I parted ways at a crossroad. When I returned home, Alex was lounging on the sofa watching television, having not even cleaned up after dinner. "Why did it take you so long? What were you dawdling around for? Give me the beer." His disgruntled voice and insensitive remarks made my heart ache. However, I handed him the beer without a word and began cleaning up after the meal. How could he say such things to me, especially when I'm pregnant? I felt the urge to retort, but I didn't want another shouting match, so I remained silent. Afterward, I had my dinner, took a relaxing bath, and headed to the bedroom. The next morning, Alex acted as if nothing had happened. It seems he's the type to forget everything after a good night's sleep. However, I couldn't forget his words from the previous night, and I consciously ignored him. "Why are you making that face so early in the morning? Don't take it out on me. I'm heading to work now, so be a bit considerate. You know the importance of appreciation, right?" Due to what he said, I was filled with the urge to retort, "That applies to you, doesn't it?" But out of shock and disbelief, all I could do was sigh deeply and see him off. Knowing that Alex doesn't calm down easily when he's angry, I reluctantly decided to go to the convenience store. Once I arrived, I bumped into Mia, a neighbor. "Oh, Mia, good evening." "Good evening, Emily. Did you forget to buy something too? I ran out of sauce, so I came here. Mia's cheerful voice slightly lifted my spirits. My husband really wanted beer, and he told me to buy it. Why didn't he just go himself? That's what I said, but it didn't get through to him. It sounds like you're having a tough time, Emily. After walking together for a bit, Mia and I parted ways at a crossroad. When I returned home, Alex was lounging on the sofa watching television, having not even cleaned up after dinner. Why did it take you so long? What were you dawdling around for? Give me the beer. Alex's disgruntled voice and his insensitive remarks made my heart ache. However, I handed him the beer without a word and began cleaning up after the meal. How could he say such things to me, especially when I'm pregnant? I felt the urge to retort, but I didn't want another shouting match, so I remained silent. Afterward, I had my dinner, took a relaxing bath, and headed to the bedroom. The next morning, Alex acted as if nothing had happened. It seems he's the type to forget everything after a good night's sleep. However, I couldn't forget his words from the previous night, and I consciously ignored him. Why are you making that face so early in the morning? Don't take it out on me. I'm heading to work now, so be a bit considerate. You know the importance of appreciation, right? Due to what he said, I was filled with the urge to retort, "That applies to you, doesn't it?" But out of shock and disbelief, all I could do was sigh deeply and see him off. Be careful, I said. Right, I won't need dinner tonight. See you. Without any explanation, Alex left in a hurry. After seeing him off, I took care of household chores and went shopping as usual. However, since Alex mentioned he wouldn't be having dinner, I decided to prepare something simple just for myself. Then, as I was about to start my meal alone in the evening, I heard Alex's unexpected return and rushed to the entrance. I'm back, he said, looking slightly disheveled. I was surprised to see him so early, given his earlier statement. Thanks for your hard work, but you said you didn't need dinner today, right? I replied, trying to mask my annoyance. Yeah, but my meeting got canceled and I'm hungry. Do you have something to eat? He asked, eyeing my modest meal on the table. I hesitated for a moment, then explained, I only prepared a meal for myself today. Upon hearing this, Alex's face contorted with anger. You didn't even consider that I might come back? This is unbelievable, he said, moving to the dining table. His mood worsened as he saw the simple dinner I prepared. What do you call this a meal? I seriously question if you're properly doing your duties as a partner. Don't waste the money I'm working for. Feeling defeated, I quickly prepared something for him, hoping to diffuse the situation. Please don't get mad like this. Maybe you should learn proper cooking from my mom. Honestly, I've always found your cooking lacking, he added. Again, he compared me to his mother, not realizing how hurtful his words were. I can't eat this. Go buy something, he demanded, breaking whatever resolve I had left. I'm back, Alex announced as he walked through the door. Thanks for your hard work, but you said you didn't need dinner today, right? I replied, trying to hide my surprise. Yeah, but my meeting got canceled. I'm hungry. You have something to eat, right? He asked, scanning the kitchen expectantly. Well, I only prepared a meal for myself today, I admitted reluctantly. Upon hearing this, Alex's face contorted with anger. Didn't you even consider the possibility I might come back? This is unbelievable, he exclaimed, moving towards the dining table. Upon seeing the simple dinner I prepared for myself, his mood worsened further. What do you call this a meal? I seriously question if you're properly doing your duties as a partner. Don't waste the money I'm working for. I quickly prepared something for him, hoping to pacify his anger. Please don't get mad like this. Maybe you should learn proper cooking from my mom. Honestly, I've always found your cooking lacking, he added, once again comparing me to his mother, without realizing how hurtful these comparisons were. I can't eat this. Go buy something, he demanded, his disdain evident in his tone. Hearing this, my heart sank further. What does he think of me? It's already night, and I've taken a bath. Can't you go buy it yourself? I asked, trying to keep my frustration in check. Forget it. You forgot to buy beer yesterday, didn't prepare dinner today. It's so frustrating. I'm going back to my parents' place, Alex declared, storming out and leaving me alone in the house. Strangely, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. The next morning, as expected, I received an angry call from Alex's mother. How can you not serve Alex a proper meal? This feels like moral harassment, if not worse, she scolded, her voice filled with indignation. I explained what happened the previous night, but she refused to accept my side of the story, so I apologized and ended the call, my mood plummeting. With Alex absent, I decided to indulge in a leisurely late brunch. However, the thought of Alex returning that night weighed heavily on my mind. Considering the events of the previous day, I resolved to make tonight's dinner special. I went shopping with more care than usual, selecting fresh ingredients and adding Alex's favorite beer to the cart. I was determined to prepare a dinner that would earn Alex's praise. I shortened my blog update time to dedicate more effort to cooking. After spending ample time preparing, I set the table beautifully, as if it were a special occasion. Looking at it, I felt a sense of accomplishment and couldn't help but praise myself. With this, he should definitely be satisfied. I waited patiently in the dining room for Alex to come home, but as time passed, there was no sign of him. I tried contacting him several times via my smartphone, but there was no response. My worry grew as the clock continued to tick. 1 hour, then 2 hours passed, and I began to get anxious. Did he possibly go to his parents' house? Thinking this, I called Alex's parents to check, but they said he hadn't come there either. I tried calling Alex multiple times, but still there was no response, leaving me in a state of uncertainty and concern. As midnight approached, just when I was considering contacting the police, a staggering Alex returned home. He seemed clearly drunk. "I'm home," he hiccuped. I rushed to the entrance in concern and found Alex lying on the hallway floor. "What happened? Are you okay?" Hearing my voice, he responded angrily. "Too loud. Go away." He then staggered towards the dining room. When I tried to support him, he forcefully shook off my hand. "Don't touch me. Don't come near me with that ugly face. To think you're my wife." In his drunken state, he spat out those words and then just lay down right there. Those words were beyond shocking. Why can't he consider others' feelings? His remarks hurt me deeply, and I was filled with thoughts of maybe he no longer sees me as family. Tears welled up in my eyes. I put so much effort into cooking, it was all for nothing. With that thought, I had my dinner alone, enveloped in loneliness. The next morning, Alex woke up as if nothing had happened. "My head hurts. I guess I drank too much. But why did you leave me in the hallway? You chose to lie down there, Alex. It's not my fault. Aren't you my wife? At least take care of me when I'm drunk." Alex's words made me wonder why he always blames me right away. "If you weren't going to eat at home, you could have at least let me know. I have prepared a nice meal, and I called you multiple times. Why didn't you answer?" Then Alex replied nonchalantly, "My drinking party from the day before got rescheduled to yesterday. Do I have to report everything? Besides, you know how hard it is to pick up the phone during a gathering. Think about my situation." With every word Alex said, my heart got colder, and my expectations of him diminished. That way, I won't feel hurt or disappointed anymore. This thought lingered in my mind. I'm taking a break and going back to my parents' home tomorrow. Being with you lately feels unpleasant and boring. Seeing Alex's attitude of looking down on me made me increasingly consider the option of divorce. Our baby is due soon, and my heart races in anticipation. Even though I've heard stories about the pains of labor from friends, my excitement to meet the new life inside me overshadows those concerns. The neighbors often encourage me with words like, "It's just a little while longer," which brightens my mood. "Hey, want to go on a family trip soon?" After Alex returned home, he made a surprising suggestion. "Really?" "But I'm talking about a family trip. My mom and dad want to join." I was taken aback. Why would parents make such a proposal? Tensions exist between me and Alex's parents. Whenever there's an issue concerning Alex, they tend to blame me, like the previous phone call incident. However, the sudden idea of a trip left me doubtful. I'm about to give birth soon, and traveling a long distance might be a bit risky. Alex replied, "How many times do I have to tell you? Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you're sick. My parents are thoughtfully inviting us. But what if something happens? It'll be fine. Everything's already decided. We'll go for 2 nights and 3 days next week." What? Next week is my due date. That's a bit. Just do as you're told. Prepare for the trip. End of discussion. Alex just expressed his opinion and then left the room. I'm in trouble now, I thought to myself. Feeling overwhelmed, I sought advice from my friend Mia the next day. She listened sympathetically, understanding the stress I was under. "Emily, that's too much to handle right now," she said, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing my health and the baby's well-being. I nodded, absorbing her words, but the decision weighed heavily on me. As the days passed, I couldn't shake the unease. I knew I had to stand my ground, for both my sake and the baby's. When Alex brought up the trip again, I took a deep breath and calmly explained my concerns. "Alex, I know your parents mean well, but I can't risk traveling this close to my due date. We need to think about the baby." His reaction was dismissive, but I stood firm, refusing to be swayed. The tension between us grew, yet I couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that my priorities had shifted irrevocably. The thought of a fresh start, away from the constant strain, began to take root in my mind, offering a glimpse of hope amid the uncertainty. The following day, I turned to my friend Mia for advice, explaining the stressful situation with Alex. She listened intently, her concern evident. "Emily, that's a bit too much," she said, shaking her head. I nodded, contemplating how to decline the trip offer as the day of departure loomed closer. Despite my hesitations, the morning of the trip arrived all too quickly. "Actually, I'm not feeling well today," I began, trying to sound as convincing as possible. "I'm worried about the baby, so I'm going to rest at home." But Alex, unfazed, was determined. "Anyway, you can just rest in the car and you'll be fine, right? Come on, bring the luggage. We're heading to my parents' house, so hurry up." Reluctantly, I followed him to the car, anxiety gnawing at me. "Is this really okay?" I asked hesitantly. After loading our luggage into the car and settling into the passenger seat, I felt an unexpected warmth at my feet. Glancing down, I realized water was spreading around them. My heart raced. "Oh my water broke." I turned to Alex, trying to convey the urgency. "Alex, I think my water just broke. Please take me to the hospital quickly." Alex looked taken aback by the situation. "Are you serious?" "Yes, I'm serious. We need to go to the hospital now. The baby might be coming." As I fumbled to clean up with a towel, Alex suddenly opened the passenger door. "Alex, what are you doing? We need to go to the hospital." His response was shocking. "Get out. You're going to make a mess in the car." "What are you saying?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I said get out. I need to clean the—" He then forcibly pulled me out. "I can't believe this. We were supposed to be on a family trip. Just go to the hospital by yourself." Stunned, I stood there as he drove away, leaving me behind. Feeling overwhelmed, I quickly dialed for an ambulance when I heard a voice. "Emily, are you okay?" It was Mia, looking concerned. Immediately grasping my predicament, she arranged for a special taxi, comforting me throughout. Grateful for her kindness, tears streamed down my face. Soon after, I arrived safely at the hospital, thanks to Mia's help. On the way, she held my hand and cheered me up, staying by my side until I was taken to my room. As I was transferred, a silent vow formed in my mind. I will make him pay for this. Even as labor pains intensified, Mia remained by my side, her presence a steady source of comfort. She contacted my parents, who soon arrived at the hospital, their faces etched with concern. Mia whispered to them, "There's something I want to discuss." The three of them left the room quietly. As the labor pains grew stronger, My smartphone vibrated from a corner of the room. "Who is it?" I asked, and my parents told me it was Alex. Despite their displeasure, I decided to take the call. His voice, panicky and desperate, pleaded, "Help me," but I was in no state to respond, and I ended the call without a word. Even after my parents turned off my phone, Alex's messages persisted. Finally, I was moved to the delivery room, focusing on the task ahead and the new life I was about to welcome. After enduring the pain for some time, I finally heard my baby's cries. Exhausted, I saw my parents and Mia standing before me with warm smiles. Relieved, I closed my eyes and rested. When I woke up after a few hours of sleep, I found myself lying in the hospital bed. Rubbing my eyes, I noticed my parents sitting next to me, their faces filled with concern. "Are you okay?" my mother asked gently. Still feeling the weight of exhaustion, I couldn't muster the energy to sit up. While my father looked teary-eyed, my mother consoled him, saying, "The postpartum period can be exhausting." Witnessing this heartwarming scene, a smile formed on my face. "How's the baby?" I inquired. My parents informed me that the baby was undergoing some tests but would be back in the room soon. However, I noticed Mia wasn't present. Responding to my unspoken question, my mother remarked, "Mia left a little while ago." Thinking about how things might have turned out had Mia not been there, a feeling of gratitude settled over me. I made a promise with my parents that after being discharged, I would visit Mia to express my gratitude. Turning on my smartphone to inform my friends about the birth, I was met with an overwhelming number of missed calls, mostly from Alex. The sheer number left me momentarily stunned, but I felt no hope or expectation from his calls, so I closed the notifications without hesitation. One of my friends visited the hospital room to congratulate me on the birth. As she rejoiced and extended her genuine wishes, I opened up about the recent incidents with Alex. After hearing the story, she expressed both shock and anger, half-jokingly saying she'd like to punish him a bit, but she also emphasized that my health and rest were paramount. She chatted with me for a while and then left. My parents, already briefed by Mia about the whole episode, asked, "What are you planning to do next?" I shared my thoughts about my relationship with Alex and told my parents, "I'm considering divorce." They respected my decision and provided their support. Upon my discharge, I planned to stay at my parents' house, where they had prepared a room for me. Meanwhile, Alex seemed to have visited the hospital, but as I had informed the hospital staff that I didn't wish to see him, he wasn't allowed in. The next day, Mia came to my hospital room holding a fruit basket. "Mia, you came!" I exclaimed with delight. "You seem to be recovering well, but remember not to overexert yourself. Postpartum fatigue can be quite profound," she advised. Feeling comforted by Mia's words, I sighed with relief. Taking the fruit basket from her, I said, "Mia, thank you so much for helping me. I don't know what would have happened if you weren't there." I expressed my deep gratitude as I bowed deeply. Mia gently laughed, saying, "What's most important is that both you and the baby are healthy. I just lent a small hand. Regardless, I'm forever grateful. Once things settle down, I'll come over to thank you properly." Mia laughed warmly in response. "You know, I've talked to my husband about what happened." He seemed quite furious. From her words, I could somewhat deduce Alex's situation. "Mia, I'm truly sorry for dragging you into this mess," I admitted. "Don't worry, remember who you owe for being able to work at your current company." As I lay back in the hospital bed, I reflected on the whirlwind of recent events. Mia's unwavering support had been a beacon of hope during one of the darkest times in my life. Her kindness and understanding had given me the strength to face the future with determination. Despite the turmoil with Alex, I felt a renewed sense of purpose, focusing on my newborn and the new chapter ahead. This experience had taught me the importance of surrounding oneself with those who genuinely care, and I was grateful to have such people in my life. This incident is truly hard to forget. At that moment, I heard a stern tone in Mia's voice for the first time. Mia was actually the wife of the CEO at the company where Alex worked. When we first moved to this residential area, I had no idea about this fact. However, as we frequently encountered each other at the local supermarket, shops, and occasionally at convenience stores, we gradually became closer. We even began to enjoy tea together, and during these sessions, I learned about the nature of her husband's job. On the other hand, Alex was completely unaware of this background, mainly because he never joined me for our initial neighborhood greetings and didn't prefer interacting with our neighbors. Mia had previously told me gently, "I don't want to cause any trouble, so don't tell your friend," and I respected that request. Knowing that I was pregnant and still being forced to endure Alex's unreasonable behavior, Mia had several times suggested, "Should I talk to my husband about this?" However, I had always declined, not wanting to trouble her. But with this recent incident, perhaps even Mia reached her limit. That's why Alex kept calling. "Mia, I really can't thank you enough for everything." Mia's strong words made me realize how fortunate I was to have someone who'd go to such lengths for me. I couldn't help but tear up. Seeing my reaction, Mia once again gave me a warm smile. "Emily, you're a dear friend to me. I can't just stand by and watch when something like this happens to a friend." Our conversation was filled with heartfelt smiles. However, Alex's messages didn't stop. Despite the barrage of notifications online, I consciously ignored them all. Thinking about the divorce made my mind clear, and all I wanted was to focus on how to live my life with my baby. As I was preparing to leave the hospital, a close friend visited my room, handing me her smartphone and saying, "I want you to see this." Displayed on her phone was a post that had become a major topic on a certain social media platform. When I asked what it was about, she informed me that she had posted about Alex's recent actions on social media. My friend had a significant influence on social media with a massive follower count. One day, she received a reply to one of her posts. The follower who replied had, by chance, captured a video of the scene where I was yelled at by Alex after being left out of the car. The follower, wanting to protect my privacy, blurred my face in the video and, with my friend's permission, shared it online. The video spread like wildfire, and as a result, personal details about Alex and even his company were identified. Currently, Alex seems to be under a barrage of criticism online. Seeing this unfold was surreal, knowing that the world was now aware of what had happened. As the criticism grew, I found solace in the fact that I wasn't alone in this fight. My mind was clearer, and the path ahead seemed less daunting. With each passing day, I became more determined to build a new life for myself and my child, supported by friends like Mia who truly cared. What? I had no idea it had escalated to this level, I exclaimed, staring at my friend in disbelief. She smiled gently, remarking, "Well, they brought it upon themselves, didn't they? Alex's actions and their consequences were all a result of choices he made." Furthermore, when one of Alex's friends confronted him about the incident, he reportedly excused himself, saying, "I had a prior travel commitment with my parents that day, so I had no choice." Because of this statement, not only Alex but also his parents began to face criticism online. The story spread even in the vicinity of my in-laws' home, and various topics related to Alex's parents started circulating on social media. Suddenly, my phone started ringing. When I checked the screen, it was a call from my mother-in-law. My friend, eyeing the screen of my phone with interest, suggested, "Why don't you pick up and give her a piece of your mind?" However, I was so fed up that I felt no words would suffice, so I decided to ignore it. Before I knew it, the missed calls log was filled with names of Alex, my father-in-law, and my mother-in-law. Ever since the incident was highlighted on social media, even the hospital staff seemed to be aware of my situation and started offering genuine support. Whether Alex or my in-laws came to the hospital or called multiple times, the hospital staff didn't allow any contact with me. As my discharge date approached, I had one pressing worry: whether Alex and my in-laws might be lurking outside the hospital. My parents reassured me, saying, "You have nothing to worry about." But the thought of my precious baby being in danger left me anxious. However, That concern was quickly dispelled on the day of my discharge. As my parents were helping me with my belongings, I heard Alex's voice shouting, "Emily," followed by the loud voices of my in-laws. Suddenly, men in black suits surrounded me, forming a protective barrier. As I tried to understand what was happening, one of the men approached me, gently opening the car door and said, "Don't worry, we're here on Sir's request to protect you." It seemed my parents were already aware of this, as my mom said, smiling, "Didn't I tell you there's nothing to worry about?" Believing her words, I felt relieved and smoothly got into the car. All the while, Alex and my in-laws, overwhelmed by the presence of the bodyguards, couldn't come any closer. I can't find the words to express how grateful I am for Mia supporting me like this. The only thing occupying my mind was how to reciprocate Mia's kindness. My parents felt the same, saying in unison, "We have to find a way to show our gratitude to Mia." Although my new life began smoothly and pleasant days continued, the contacts from Alex and my in-laws never ceased. I mailed them the divorce papers, but there wasn't even a hint of acceptance. One day, my in-laws called our home. It seems my father answered, and they addressed him with the attitude of, "She became a part of our family, so no matter how she's treated, she shouldn't complain." When my father angrily retorted to their statement, it seems they were taken aback and quickly hung up. Through all this, my resolve strengthened. I realized that having the support of my family and friends like Mia was invaluable. As I moved forward, I focused on building a new life for myself and my child, knowing that I was not alone in this journey. While discussing how to handle the situation with my parents, I decided that seeking professional assistance was the best course of action and resolved to consult a lawyer. Coincidentally, my father knew a lawyer, and when we explained our situation, he graciously agreed to help. I informed the lawyer about the video circulating on social media and detailed past events. When the lawyer reached out on our behalf, Alex was initially taken aback. However, over time, he became defiant. "We'll solve marital issues ourselves. We don't need a lawyer," he argued in a flat tone. The lawyer calmly responded, "I'm acting upon Emily's request. Any future communication should be directed to me. It's up to Emily, my client, to decide whether or not she wants to involve a lawyer." Alex was at a loss for words. Though initially refusing to divorce, when mediation and the possibility of a court case were suggested, the word court seemed to shake him, and he reluctantly agreed to the divorce. "I have no interest in the child and have no intention of seeing them in the future, so I don't see why I should pay child support. As for property distribution, I did nothing wrong," he claimed irrationally. The lawyer calmly explained from a legal perspective, but Alex still seemed unconvinced. "In that case, it seems we'll meet in court," the lawyer suggested. My in-laws, who were listening nearby, appeared to panic and immediately agreed. When I was informed of this by the lawyer, I was shocked that I had ever married such a man. I had been communicating with Mia since returning to my parents' home, and when I told her about the recent events, she playfully and gleefully suggested, "How about seizing your ex-husband's retirement pay? Garnishment is one way, right?" Feeling overwhelmed by Mia's astuteness, a while later, I was contacted by the lawyer, who conveyed that Alex wished to apologize in person. Wanting a satisfactory conclusion, I agreed to converse over the phone under the lawyer's supervision. The day of the scheduled call arrived. On that day, I was accompanied by my parents and the lawyer. From the other end of the line, I heard, "Finally, you answer. Apologize now and I'll forgive you, so come back home. Let's be a couple again. The house is a mess. I might lose my job and everyone's looking at me coldly. All of this is your fault, so take responsibility." He continued to bombard me with accusations. Without being overwhelmed, I calmly chose how to react. When he said, "See, you can't even reply properly. Truly a woman with no redeeming qualities," I finally responded, "Just so you know, this conversation is being recorded. I'll keep it as evidence. Goodbye." Ending the call, I realized how much I had changed. I was no longer the person willing to endure Alex's behavior. With the support of my family, Mia, and the legal guidance I received, I felt empowered to move forward confidently, focusing on building a new life for myself and my child, free from the past's shadows. Hearing this, Alex's voice revealed his shock. Wait, you recorded it? That's not fair, right? I was joking. I'm sorry. I can't live without you. Let's start over. We truly loved each other, right? I promise I'll try harder from now on. After hearing those words, I immediately hung up the phone. With the recorded Alex in hand, I handed it to the lawyer and asked, "Can you utilize this audio as evidence?" Shaking his head in disbelief, the lawyer remarked, "He truly is an incorrigible man." My parents, feeling the same as me, decided to sever ties with him. Seeing his behavior filled them more with astonishment and disappointment than anger. At some point, I realized I was slightly enjoying this drama, clinging to the little devilish side of me that emerged. The divorce procedures with Alex concluded smoothly. Both the property distribution and child support agreements went forward without a hitch, and the turmoil began to subside. Due to the information Mia shared with her husband, the president of my ex-husband's company, Alex was promptly disciplined. The president, known for his family-oriented values, believed that an employee who couldn't protect his family couldn't be trusted by the company. Alex lost his job, couldn't make housing loan payments, and returned to his parents' home. His reputation was tarnished by the viral video, and he struggled to find stable employment, barely making ends meet with short-term part-time jobs. Rumors spread about his parents too, and according to reports from Mia's friends in the neighborhood, they seemed to live in perpetual unease. The cold societal judgment they faced, which exceeded my expectations, made me think that surprisingly this ostracization might be harder for them than any legal repercussions. With most matters settled and my health recovering, my parents, my baby, and I visited Mia's home to express our gratitude. Both Mia and her husband seemed genuinely happy and doted on my baby, making us feel warm and welcomed. After that, Mia and my mother became close friends. Similarly, Mia's husband and my father got along very well, and our families grew close. Furthermore, Mia and her husband's son was around my age, and to everyone's surprise, our relationship began to develop in an unexpected direction. A few years later, the idea that I might actually become a part of Mia's family was something no one could have ever predicted. Life truly is full of surprises. Reflecting on the experience of navigating a challenging relationship and the subsequent journey toward independence, there are several valuable lessons that can be applied to current life situations. Firstly, understanding the importance of self-respect and setting boundaries is crucial. When faced with disrespect or unreasonable behavior, it's important to recognize one's worth and not tolerate mistreatment. Seeking support from trusted friends and family can provide the strength needed during difficult times. The story also highlights the significance of having a support network, like Mia, who can offer guidance and assistance. Building and maintaining strong relationships with people who genuinely care can make a significant difference during tough periods. Professionally, the situation underscores the necessity of standing up for oneself, even if it means involving legal aid to protect one's rights and interests. Additionally, embracing change and being open to new beginnings can lead to unexpected and positive developments in life, as seen in the evolving relationships and eventual happiness found in the story. Ultimately, the key takeaway is to prioritize personal well-being and surround oneself with people who uplift and support, creating a life filled with respect, love, and unexpected joys.